Here's a little snippet of what's coming up.
The president's going to be on the wrong side of history, but this is the wrong way to treat a human being.
The American farmer is dying, and it's not from drought, disease, or bad luck. It's from a White House that treats their lives like poker chips in a cheap casino. And Donald Trump is the dealer stacking the deck against them. While rural America bleeds, he's too busy posturing for the cameras and making trade war announcements like a kid rattling toy sabers. Except his tantrums have consequences. Families are losing their farms, barns sitting empty, and suicide hotlines are lighting up because men and women who have fed the US for generations can't see a way out. Trump promised to protect the forgotten men and women of America. But when the markets collapsed because of his tariff games, he didn't blink. Why would he? He doesn't have skin in the game. You do. And for him, it's all just another headline. Here's farmer John Boyd Jr. telling it like it is.
Well, it's been rough this year, John, and we're hearing from farmers all around the country. Bankruptcies are on the rise, and farmers are asking, Boyd, am I going to be able to stay in my home or keep my home if they file bankruptcy? Farm suicides are up. And the president's tariffs have put this country in complete turmoil for America's farmers. And really, John, it's a state of emergency.
God, if you're depending on that orange waxwork to help you in a state of emergency, really, honestly, from my heart, good luck with that.
For America's farmers, because right now we're still selling corn, wheat, and soybeans at dramatically low prices because the markets have plummeted, because every other day the president makes another announcement about tariffs. The only thing we still do in this country better than anybody around the world, and people can debate me on this, is produce corn, wheat, and soybeans. When it comes out of our field, it's ready to be shipped to China or corn to Mexico. And the president is negotiating on this because he knows this is the only thing that America produces, and he's gambling with America's farmers' lives.
That right there, what you just watched, that's not fake news. It's not media spin. It's a man who's been working the land for decades, telling you that farmers are in a state of emergency, and the reason isn't China, it isn't Mexico, it isn't lazy urbanites, it's Donald J. Trump. You can't call yourself a champion of rural America while simultaneously tanking grain prices, kneecapping export markets, and driving family farms into bankruptcy. That's not leadership, it's arson, and he's burning the damn place to the ground. And talking about his major mistakes, watch this video next. You'll be surprised. The worst part of this are his supporters in these rural states are the ones being burned alive financially. And they're still lining up to thank the man holding the match. This is cruelty dressed up as patriotism. And when your strategy bankrupts the only people who still believed you, maybe you're not the deal maker you claim to be. And when he's not gambling with farmers' livelihoods, he's dehumanizing the workers keeping those very farms alive.
Well, I tell you, John, you don't know what the president is going to do, because just a week or so ago, he was herding up migrant workers from farmers, riding through their fields and chasing these persons and treating them, John, almost as if they're livestock. And I mean, if anybody's old enough to remember Jim Crow, and my grandparents were sharecroppers in this country.
Jim Crow is a very apt description for what is happening in rural America.
They didn't want to pay them, and now they're using this particular population to do the same. And I believe that this is inhumane treatment. Say 1 week they have to leave the country, and now because farmers need the labor, or they have to come back. These persons have been doing this type of work for a very, very long time on these farms, harvesting tobacco and other commodities around the country with no problem. These weren't criminals and all the things that the president says they are. These are hardworking people that are doing the work that many of us in our own country don't want to do, John.
Let's call this what it is. It's slavery light with a MAGA hat on, chasing migrant workers through fields like livestock, comparing their worth to whether they die if they get a bad back. That's not just ugly, it's repulsive. These are people who have been harvesting America's food for decades, doing the work most of us wouldn't last half a day doing. And instead of getting dignity, instead of being treated like human beings, They get hunted, demonized, and reduced to racial caricatures from a president who thinks empathy is weakness. Trump loves to talk about American greatness. But greatness isn't built on the backs of people you treat like disposable machinery. This is straight out of the Jim Crow playbook. Exploit the labour, strip the humanity, and pretend it's just tough policy. But what Boyd says next cuts through every lie. It's the moral indictment history will remember.
People who live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die.
He genuinely believes people are just disposable machines.
They do it naturally, he said. What did you hear in that?
You know, and they die, you know, and it's comments like that that have made race relations very difficult under this presidency. And I'm going to tell you on this show today, the president's going to be on the wrong side of history. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but this is the wrong way to treat a human being, whether you like the immigration policies or not. And you know, we all know that the immigration, you know, needed some changes, but this isn't the way to do it, the way that the president is doing it. And like I said, he makes one statement today and tomorrow he says something totally different.
It's even worse than that, because then he denies what he said the previous day. Even though there's video evidence and we can see it with our own eyes, he will then scream fake news, fake news. And his supporters will have watched him say it, will have heard him say it, and then the next day when he denies it, they'll also scream fake news, fake news.
But in this case, he's affecting his base, the very people who voted for him. In this case, John, a large-scale white farmers in those red states that you've just been mentioning, who overwhelmingly voted for this president, are going to be on the auction block and you know, come this fall, because they won't be able to sell and keep their farm at poor grain prices, $4 for corn, $5 for wheat, and $10 for soybeans. You will not be able to make it with the highest input costs per acre than we face in my whole 40 years of farming. This is the worst period I've seen since I've been farming since 1983.
Wrong side of history. Now that phrase gets thrown around a lot, but here it's dead on. We're watching a president actively choose to wreck the economic future of the people who voted for him, while spitting on the dignity of the workers who keep their farms running. This is political suicide disguised as strength, and I'm hoping it happens very soon. You can't sell soybeans at half their former price. You can't pay double for feed and fuel and still expect small-town America to survive. And yet that is exactly what Trump's doing, and he's doing nothing to fix it. No new markets, no relief, just same tired culture war distractions while the farm belt crumbles. When the auctions come this fall, when the tractors are sold off, when the land passes into hands of corporate giants, remember this moment. Remember who gambled away the future for the sake of an applause. And if you think it won't affect you because you don't live on a farm, wait until the food prices hit. Wait until rural economies collapse. Wait until the political blame game starts again. And remember, this is the calculated destruction of an entire way of life. If you want more stories like this, more truth, more meltdowns, click on one of these videos. And if you would be so kind, subscribe and comment. It helps with the algorithm. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.